So I am currently in the middle of a very, very good sci-fi adventure story, but it's a long one and I've run out of review videos, and I've, had a bit of discourse around the review video. So if you haven't watched that video, maybe you should go back and watch it. So what I've decided to do is give you another revisited review, just to fill the gap in content, because we know. What do we know? I don't think I know anything anymore. Anyway, I need a video a day to post, so here we are. And as much as I'm appreciating how my hair is currently growing out, I'm not going to make a video on it because I'm not that sort of person. I'm going to instead tell you about this book, which is Realm of Dark Fury. Now, the reason I'm going to tell you about this book is because it's fucking awesome, for one thing. The second thing is the author, R.D. Baker, is fucking awesome and has had the short end of the stick on social media for about 2 years now. She has an avid following. We are an avid following. You could say we're a rabid following. But the amount of abuse she's gotten, and the amount of hate she's gotten, and the amount of Jesus preachers that have targeted her over the last few years have basically removed her from TikTok over and over again. And it's bullshit. So I take any opportunity I can to boost the wonderful Rhiannon, because she deserves it. Her books are amazing, and I'm sick to death of people bashing her. I do not take kindly to people bashing my friends, and I will come for you. Anyway, on to the book, shall we? Now, this came out in, let's get this right, December 2023, which is longer than I thought. So forgive me while I come to terms with that. The MCs are Elara and Rook in this book. And Elara's home has been ravaged by war. Her freedom has basically been forfeited during the process of this war. And to claim it all back, she has to complete a series of trials and tournaments in something called the Pit. The ruler of where she now resides, King Theron, is, I want to say, almost a combination of Joffrey from Game of Thrones and probably Ramsay Bolton as well. The two worst Game of Thrones people thrown together, I would say. And the only person who actually seems to care if she survives this trial or not is the guy who is training her. Now, that guy is Rook, and he is Prince of the Night Demons. He hates the Fae. He hates everything about Elara. He's not interested. He doesn't really want to train her, but it's a task he's been given. Long ago, his people were abandoned by the Fae, so he has long, deep resentment for their species. He is too enslaved to the king. He doesn't have any freedom either. So in that sense, they're in a similar sort of place. It's difficult for him at first because he just wants to see her dead. She's a Fae. He doesn't care if she's going to survive. He doesn't want to train her. He just wants her dead. This is literal enemies right now. But as they go on, the trials become more and more intense, more difficult, more deadly. And a strange turn of events occurs whereby they begin to seek comfort in each other because they're the only two who understand what needs to happen for her to survive. She knows what she has to do, and Rook is the one who needs to show her how to do it. But then as they're finally coming together, how can I put this? Secrets come to the fore, which reveal things from the uprising, as it was called, this war that stole Elara's kingdom. and it's going to blow everything out of proportion, blow everything. Yeah, everything you thought you knew, gone. It's and the ending is one I still haven't quite got over yet. I'm hanging on to a thread of hope as best as I can, and I'm waiting for A Realm of Dying Stars. And I don't want to put pressure on Rhiannon, but as difficult as you find it to write right now, we are finding it equally as difficult to wait right now. And that's not because we're trying to push you to write these books, it's because you've written them so well that our anxiety is tearing us apart from the insides, trying to figure out how long we can last until we have the answers. So it's kind of on you, really. You should be aware of that. You've created a feral fan base, and now you're kind of having to deal with it. So I don't have any sympathy for you. Not for that, anyway. But yeah, write the damn books. But anyway, somewhere over here is my copy. Where is it? Let's grab it off. Oh yes, my Australia shelf. Ugh. Now, this is the original hardback cover. Yeah. Which is the one I have. And I had to buy that. Where did I buy that? I think I had to buy it on eBay in the end because I couldn't get it in the UK. There are new covers since. Rhiannon has started making her own covers, and they are very, very sparkly and very nice and very well done. She's come a long way. But I cannot really encourage you enough to take a look at any of the brilliant books from the pen of R.D. Baker, because I've yet to come across one that I've rated under 4 stars at all. And that includes contemporary romances she wrote at the beginning. She's just one of these writers who just seems to bleed magic. I'm not great with the words, but she just seems to be able to conjure these worlds and characters, and it's just another level. I've never read anything quite like it. And it's unique and it stands alone. And I have to credit, I said this when I did the revisited review of The Shadow and the Draw. R.D. Baker, I credit with getting me into fantasy. Now, I don't count Harry Potter and things like that. I mean proper fantasy. I'd never really read fantasy books until I read The Shadow and the Draw. And that for me was a divergent point in my reading habits, because not only did I then start reading fantasy books, I mean last year I read at least 50% fantasy books, but I also started reading dark romance. And that's something I never thought that I would do. Not all dark romance, I stress, I hasten to add, but it's just, her writing has opened up so much more to me, and for that I will forever be grateful. And if you haven't checked out any of her books before, I strongly urge you to do it. They're all now in KU as well. And well, we'll not get started on the KU debate, shall we? Because I'm going to offend some people, and I should probably do that in a separate video. But yeah, please go and check them out. They are just some of the finest writing I've ever read. And the covers are stunning, and the characters are stunning, and the smut levels are off the scale, and it all ties in with the story beautifully. And I could rant and rant and rant all day, and I'm nearly at 10 minutes, so I will wrap it up there. But yeah, this for me was the best book, or one of the best books I read in 2023. And I still talk to people about it today. It's stayed with me all that time. So go and check it out. Because you really need to. I don't know what else I can possibly say.